इस वीडियो में हम लोग मेमोरी मैप की बात करेंगे। मेमोरी मैपिंग 8085 सिस्टम के साथ किस तरीके से की जाती है, वी विल डिस्कस दिस। Let us first discuss that what do you mean by memory mapping. It is just assigning the address of the individual registers present in the memory. So therefore it depends that how many registers are available in a particular memory chip. Now here the figure is showing the memory mapping of 1 kilobyte of the memory, and this 1 kilobyte of the memory is represented as 1024 into 8. The meaning of 1024 into 8 is it is representing a memory chip which is having 1024 registers, and each register is able to store 8-bit numbers. So that is why it is represented 1024 into 8. If there is a memory chip which is having 256 registers, then in that case the configuration of that memory will be represented as 256 into 8. Now various sizes of the chips are available. It may be possible that each register will be able to store only 4-bit number, and if they are having 256 registers, then in that case you can configure that memory chip as 256 into 4. So meaning thereby this 8 represents the number of bits which can be stored in the register, and 1024 represents the number of registers present in the chip. Now in the previous video we have seen that this was the case of 256 register in a particular chip. So in this we have seen that 8 address lines will be required to configure 256 register, because 2 to the power 8 is equal to 256. So 256 combinations will be sufficient, more than sufficient, to identify, to assign a unique address to 256 registers. And we also know that in 8085 we have 16 address lines. Out of 16 address lines, 8 address lines will be used to identify the register. So what we will do with the rest of the address lines? So the rest of the address lines will be used for selection of the chip. So here we can see that the higher order address lines and the lower order address lines which are assigned for the memory mapping is same as far as the register selection is concerned or the chip selection is concerned. But it may be possible if the number of registers are more in a particular chip, then in that case it may be possible that number of address lines which are required to select the individual registers of the chip will be more than the number of the lines which will be available for selection of the chip. So how the memory mapping of 1 kilobyte can be done? Since this memory chip contains 1024 registers, so we are in requirement of 10 address lines to identify the individual registers, and these address lines will be designated from A0 to A9. It means the initial value of A0 to A9 will be 000, the next value will be 000000001, the next value will be 0000010, then 11, and so on, and the last value means the last maximum value which will be assigned for this. So we have 256 combinations of 10 lines from 000000000 to 11111. This will be the last address and this will be the first address, and in between these, including these two, there will be 256 different addresses. And since we have 16 address lines, out of that 10 address lines has been used from A0 to A9 for selection of the individual registers present in the chip. So what we will do, the 6 address lines which are remaining will be used for the selection of the chip. Now for the selection of the chip, we can design a circuit. This is a circuit which is having inverter as well as the NAND gate. And for this selection of this chip, it is necessary that here it is negatively activated, so here it should be 0. If here it should be 0, then here it should be 0. If here it should be 0, it means all the values which are present at the input side must be 1. And if all these values should be 1, the rest of the value A10 to A15 must be 0, because an inverter has been connected. So if A10 to A15 are 0, 0, 0, then it will be 1, 1, 1, then here it will be 0 and here it will be 0, so chip will be selected. Meaning thereby, for identification of individual register, it is must that the chip should be selected. And the chip selection can be done with the help of A10 to A15 as 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And from A0 to A9, we have different combinations of 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0. So you can say that the total address now, whenever the memory register is being addressed with the 16 address lines, we combine from A0 to A15 to assign the address of the individual registers. So it will be starting from 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, meaning thereby 0, 0, 0, H, to it will remain 0 and rest will be 1, 1, 1. So the value will be from 0, 0, 0 to 0, 3, F, F. Now what is the significance of a starting address of the individual register of a 1024 register is 0, 0, 0, and 0, 3, FF is the last address of the last register. So what is the meaning of that? The meaning is that, as I told you earlier in the previous video, that the first two, the most significant 2 digit of this hexadecimal 16-bit address is represented as number of pages, and the least significant 2 bits are representing the number of lines. So actually this you can say that we have 4 pages. First page is 0, 0, second page will be 0, 1, third page will be 0, 2, and fourth page will be 0, 3. There are 4 pages, and in individual pages there are 256 registers starting from 0, 0 to FF. Now this can be explained in this way also, that so the number of pages and the number of lines will be represented as page 0, 0, and in this page 0, 0 there are 256 registers starting with 0, 0 to FF. The second page will be page 0, 1, and the number of registers available will be 0, 0 to FF. Similarly, we have page number 3 starting with 0, 0 to FF. Sorry. And page 4, sorry, no, so it will be 0, 2, and this will be 0, 3, 0, 0 to FF. So this is called memory mapping. Page 0, 0 will be having 256 registers. Page 01 will be having 256 registers. Page 02 will be having 256 registers. Page 03 will, and individual address will be 0, 0, 0 to 0, 0 FF, 0, 1, 0, 0 to 0, 1 FF, 0, 2, 0, 0 to 0, 2 FF, and 0, 3, 0, 0 to 0, 3 FF. So that the total address range of 1 kilobyte of the memory will be 0, 0, 0 to 0, 3 FF. So this is how, as I told you in the previous video, that we assign the housing society by dividing it into the number of sectors and number of house in particular sector. Similarly, we divide the total number of registers into number of pages, and in each pages the different. So it is similarly to the notebook, and that notebook is containing 4 pages, and each pages contains 256 lines. Now, this is one of the example of mapping of the memory of 1 kilobyte. Now, you can see by changing the design of the hardware, we can change the address of the individual registers. Now, if suppose if I remove the inverter NOT gate from the A15, if I remove this, then what will happen? Then it will happen like this, that there will be change in the addresses also. For if this inverter is removed, so it means if this inverter is removed, for everyone, for here it should be 0, here it should be 0, everything should be 1. So A15 will be equal to 1. If A15 will be 1, the address will be changed. What the address will become? If A15 is 1, so it means this 4 will become 8, this 0, this 0 and this 0. So the address will become, in that case address will become, see, if I change the this inverter, so what will happen? The address will be changed, and the A15 will be assigned as 1. And if A15 will be 1, then the address will become 8000 to 83FF. 83FF क्यों? क्योंकि 4 बिट को एक साथ आप लेंगे, 4 बिट को एक साथ लेंगे तो दिस विल यहाँ पे 1 हो जाएगा, तो ये हो जाएगा 8, ये हो जाएगा 00, लास्ट वाले में यहाँ पे 3 है, so from 80 to 83. So it means the page number will be changed. In that case, page number will become, the first page will become 80, the second page will become 81, the third page will become 82, the fourth page will become 83. So if you change the design of the hardware, the memory mapping will be changed. So every registers which are available with the microprocessor unit are connected with the microprocessor unit. The addressing of the individual register depends upon how the hardware has been designed. If the hardware says that all are connected with the inverter, then the address will be from, range will be from 000 to 03FF. But if the hardware design is such that here inverter is not present, then it will become 800 to 83FF. If suppose this inverter is also removed, 2 inverters are removed, then in that case A15 and A14 both should be equal to 1. And if these two become 1, and it will be constant for every, because it is the chip select line. Chip select line will be constant for all the registers. So if A15 and A14 both become 1, the address will be changed. And the address will become, it is 8, it is 4, it will become 12, 9, A, B, C. So it will become C0 to C3. And if it will become C00 to C33, so the address will be changed, range will be changed. It will be page number C0, page number C1, page number C2 and page number C3, like that. So in this way we used to do the memory mapping of the individual memory chips. Now if you have to make a memory mapping of 2 kilobyte, 2 kilobyte means it will become 2048 into 8. For identifying 2048 registers, we need 11 address lines, because 2 to the power 10 is 1024, so 2 to the power 11 will become 2048. So this A10 will be removed from this, and A10 will be connected with the register identification. And with that, we will have, for the chip selection, we will have A11, A12, A13, A14 and A15. And in that way, we will be designing the range of the memory. Suppose we have to design for the 4 kilobyte of the memory. For 4 kilobyte, we are in requirement of 12 address lines. So A10 and A11 both will be connected with this, and we are left with A12, A13, A14 and A15 for the selection of the chip. So in this way, we used to do the memory mapping of the individual memory chips. Now, as I told you that the memory chips are available with the various sizes. It may be 256 byte memory chip, it may be 1024 byte memory chip, it may be 1024 nibble memory chip. Nibble means individual register can store 4 bit. So the number of bits which can be stored in one register of the memory chip is known as memory size, or the memory word size. So memory chips, since it is available in various word sizes, and the word size is nothing but number of bits which can be stored in the single register of the memory. It may be of 1, it may be of 4, it may be of 8. It means if it is 1, it means one register can store 1 bit. If it is 4, it means one register can store 4 bit. If it is 8, it means one register can store 8 bit. So memory chips are available in various word sizes, and size of the memory chip is specified in terms of total number of the bits it can store. If there are 256 register in the chip and it can store, individual register can store single one digit. So it means the memory chip will be having a configuration 256 into 1. Now the chip size, chip of the size 1024 into 4, it means, what does it mean? It means there are 1024 registers and each register can store only 4 bit. So if you have to design 1 kilobyte of the memory, we require, how much chips will be required? We are in requirement of 1024 into 8. We have to design a memory for 1024 into 8, and the size of the chip which is available is 1024 into 4. So naturally we are in requirement of 2 such chips, so that we are able to make 1 kilobyte, yani 1024 into 8. Now there is a formula that how to calculate the number of chips needed to design 8 kilobyte of the memory if the memory chip size is 1024 into 1. So it means what we have to design, we have to design 8 kilobyte. What does it mean? We have to design 8 kilobyte. So to design 8 kilobyte, what will happen? The size of the 8 kilobyte will be 8 into 1024 into 8. 8 kilobyte, 8 into kilobyte means 1024, byte means 8. This will be the size which you have to design. And what the chip size is available? It is available only 1024 into 1. So what we will do, how many chips will be required? What we will do, the total designing size will be divided by the available chip size. The chip size available is 1024 into 1, and the designing which we have to do is 1024 8 kilobyte. So what will happen? This will be equal to what? This will be equal to 8 into 8. It means there will be 64 such chips. 64 such chips will be required. Similarly, if you have to design for, suppose you have to design for 4 kilobyte and the chip size available is 1024 into 4, then what will happen? So you have to design, it will become 4 kilobyte, it is all right, and it will become 4. So what will be, 1024 will cancel out each other, 4 will cancel out each other, so we will left with 8 only. So it means we are requirement of only 8 chips. अगर आपको 4 किलोबाइट मेमोरी साइज डिज़ाइन करनी है और आपके पास जो चिप साइज अवेलेबल है 1024 है, देन इन दैट केस यू आर इन रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ ओनली 8 चिप्स. बट अगर यही 1024 into 1 की साइज़ अवेलेबल होती चिप की, तो हमारे पास क्या होते 8 into 4, यानी this means we are in requirement of 32 chips. So it depends that what you have to design and what chip size is available. So in this way we are able to, hope I am able to explain how the memory mapping is being done, and I am able to explain the memory word size also. Now as far as the memory and the instruction fetch are concerned, because the primary function of the memory is to store the instruction as well as the data and provide that information to the microprocessor whenever the microprocessor will be requesting in the form of an information by sending the address to the specific memory location through the address bus, and along with the certain control lines, so that the memory will be enabled and the data will be flowing from the memory to the processor or from the processor to the memory. So here an example has been shown in the form of a figure, that suppose at memory location 2005 some instruction has been written, that is 4F, and the microprocessor wants to fetch that instruction. So what it will do, it will send the address through the program counter on the address line to the memory 2005. Along with that, it will also send memory read signal, and when these two signals used to arrive here, then only the content of 2005, which is 4F, will be made available to the data bus, and through the data bus it will be coming to the processor, from where it will be coming into the internal data bus, and since it is the first instruction to be fetched, so this instruction will be first coming to the instruction decoder, and from their decoder it is being decoded, and microprocessor will be able to know that depending upon this instruction 4F, what is the meaning of 4F, and after knowing the meaning of 4F, it will be able to send the control signal and do the operation which is meant for 4F. So in this way the instruction fetch operation and its execution is being done in 8085. Now this is the way how the microprocessor will be working with the memory. Similarly, the microprocessor will be working with the input and the output devices, which are also known as peripheral devices. Of course, the addressing of input and the output devices can be done in two ways. The first way is called peripheral mapped input output, or it is also called input output mapped input output. And the second way is memory mapped input output. Now whenever we say, so let us first explain the peripheral mapped input output. In peripheral mapped input output case, the input output unit is considered to be the separate unit besides the memory unit, and only 8-bit addresses are being utilized for addressing the input or the output devices. As in the case of memory, we used to assign 16-bit address, but in case of peripheral mapped input output, we used to assign only 8-bit addresses to the input and the output devices. And the steps which are involved in communicating with the input output devices are very much similar to the memory devices. Besides that individual addresses of the peripheral devices are assigned with the 8-bit address. So first of all, what happens? Microprocessor first places the 8-bit address from the address bus to the peripheral device, which is being decoded by the external decoding logic. We have a certain circuit called the interfacing circuit, just to know that which address is this one. It is designating which address for which input or output device it is meant for. Along with that, microprocessor also sends a control signal, either in the form of a read signal or in the form of a write signal. If microprocessor is going to read something, it will be sending read signal. If it wants to write something on the output unit, it will be sending the write signal, just to enable the device. So once the address as well as the control signal has been received by the peripheral devices, the data will be transferred using the data bus. So if it is using 8-bit address, so 2 to the power 8, so it means 256 different input output devices can be addressed. So for a 8085 system, 256 input output devices are more than sufficient, because it is not going to be more than 256 devices which is connected with the 8085 microprocessor. So that's why we are using 8-bit addresses. One more important thing which is related with the peripheral mapped input output is that we use separate instructions for receiving the data or for loading the data on the peripheral devices, and those instructions are called in instruction and the out instruction. In instruction is used for the input device and out instruction is used for the output device. Similarly, we have input output with the 16-bit address, that is memory mapped input output. In this second case, in the memory mapped input output unit is also considered as a type of memory unit, similar to the memory unit, and that is why it is called memory mapped input output. It means input and output devices are mapped just like a memory. But in peripheral mapped input output devices are mapped as separate devices, that is peripheral devices. So all those instructions which are used to work with the memory will be used with the input output devices in memory mapped case, as well as individual addresses of the input and output devices are also addressed by the 16-bit address, because they are considered to be a type of memory. So this is all about how microprocessor will be communicating with the input and the output devices. Now this is an example of a microcomputer system. In this microcomputer system, this is a general description of a microcomputer system, in which you can see you have a higher order address bus, lower order address bus, we have a data bus, we have certain control signals through which these different devices, which is memory devices and the input output devices, are connected with the microprocessor. We have an address lines from A0 to A15, the higher order address, the lower order address. Now you can see the lower order address is connected, higher order address and lower order address is connected with memory, and lower order address is connected with the input and the output device, considering that whenever input and output devices are connected with the microprocessor as a peripheral mapped input and output, in which we are in requirement of only 8-bit address lines to identify the individual input and the output devices. And this data bus is connected with all these units so that the data can flow either from the processor to the memory or the output device, or from the input device or the memory to the microprocessor. And this also shows 4 different control signals: memory read signal, memory write signal, input output read signal, and input output write signal, just to give the information. Now the second figure is an extended version of the previous figure of the microcomputer system. Now in this, the bus has been elaborated more. Now this block diagram includes the tri-state buffers, tri-state bus drivers, a decoder, a latch. The bus driver, the purpose of this bus driver, here also bus driver, here also bus driver. This bus driver is going to increase the current driving capacity of the buses. The decoder decodes the address just to identify the input or the output port, and the latches are used to hold the output for the display, because it may be possible that whenever data will be sent from the microprocessor to display on the LED, it may be possible that LED is not as fast to receive the data. So what is being done, this data is being latched here, and later on it is being displayed on the LED unit. Now all these devices, bus drivers, ports, decoders, latch, all these devices are called the interfacing devices. Now, what is the meaning of interfacing devices? Through which the microprocessor can be connected, will be able to communicate with the external resources. As in the human body, I have already told that we have hand, legs, eyes, ears. These are the interfacing devices of the human body, through which the human body can interface with the rest of the world. Through eyes you can see the outside world, through ears you can hear, through hand you can work, you can touch, through by your feet you can move ahead. So it means these are also the interfacing devices through which it is being connected. And in these interfacing devices are basically the semiconductor chips that are needed to connect to the peripheral devices in the bus system. So what is the concept related to the interfacing devices, that we will discuss later on.